I remember the first time I sat down to meditate. It was a chilly morning, and the world outside my window was still wrapped in a blanket of fog. I had heard about meditation from friends, read articles that promised clarity and peace, but I was skeptical. My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, a cacophony of worries and to-do lists that never seemed to end. I thought, how could sitting still possibly help? But I was desperate for change. So I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and tried to quiet the storm inside me. At first, it was excruciating. Every second felt like an eternity. My thoughts raced faster than I could catch them. I was thinking about work, about bills, about that awkward conversation I had with my neighbor. I felt like a failure. I was supposed to be finding peace, but all I found was frustration. I almost gave up after that first attempt, but something inside me whispered to keep going. So I did. I returned to my cushion day after day, determined to find anything that resembled the serenity I had read about. Slowly, something began to shift. I started to notice the spaces between my thoughts. Those fleeting moments of silence became my refuge. I learned to observe my thoughts without judgment, like clouds drifting across a vast sky. Some days, the clouds were dark and heavy, filled with anxiety and self-doubt. Other days, they were light and fluffy, filled with hope and joy. I realized that I didn't have to cling to them. I could let them pass. That was the first real breakthrough for me. Understanding that my thoughts were not me. They were just passing phenomena, like waves crashing on the shore. As I continued to meditate, I found myself becoming more present in my daily life. I started to savor the little moments, the warmth of the sun on my skin, the sound of laughter, the taste of my morning coffee. I began to appreciate the beauty in the mundane, the extraordinary in the ordinary. I was no longer rushing through life, but rather, I was engaging with it. I learned to breathe deeply, to pause before reacting, to listen more intently. My relationships began to flourish as I became more attuned to the needs of others. I was no longer just a participant in conversations. I was truly present, and that made all the difference. Meditation also taught me resilience. Life threw challenges my way, loss, disappointment, uncertainty, but I learned to face them with a sense of calm. Instead of spiraling into despair, I could sit with my feelings, acknowledge them, and then let them go. It was liberating. I discovered that pain and joy coexist and that it's okay to feel both. I stopped resisting my emotions and started embracing them. I learned that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. The most profound change, however, was in how I viewed myself. I had spent years trapped in a cycle of self-criticism, constantly comparing myself to others, feeling inadequate. But through meditation, I began to cultivate self-compassion. I learned to speak to myself with kindness, to recognize my worth beyond my achievements. I realized that I am enough, just as I am. That revelation was like a weight lifting off my shoulders. Meditation didn't magically solve all my problems, but it gave me the tools to navigate them with grace. It transformed my relationship with myself and the world around me. I found a sense of peace that I never thought possible. It became a sanctuary, a place where I could return to whenever life felt overwhelming. I am still a work in progress, but I am grateful for the journey. Meditation changed my life, not in grand gestures, but in small, subtle ways that have woven themselves into the fabric of my existence. And for that, I will always be thankful.